I think he's growing government way too quickly, and he's digging that hole of debt for our country that we're going to pass on to our children and our grandchildren, expecting them to pay off debt for us. It's a selfish thing that we're doing right now if we think that that is okay. So I do like some of the talk that he's giving Americans right now, though, about eventually here getting to the point of reining in spending and finding efficiencies within government. I encourage him to follow through on that. We have to follow through on that because it is unfair to our kids and grandkids to expect that we grow government today to such largesse. He's got to be able to do it. He's promised that he would do it, that he would consider some of these actions and he would take action to slow down the growth of government. Now, having said that, we have to recognize what's already happened. Trillions of dollars more in spending. $1 trillion stimulus package, we don't have that money. We're borrowing it from China. So, you know, if we become indebted to another country that essentially can control some of the things that go in our country because of that debt, that's a very scary place for America to be, for our economy and for our national security.
You recently said, I want you to clarify what you meant. You said that the Obama administration is trying to bail out some of the debt-ridden states so they can, quote, control the people. Explain what you meant.
Here's what I said. These stimulus package dollars, they're very enticing, and some states were made to look unethical or incompetent for not accepting all of this debt-ridden largesse package of federal funds. And my belief has been, look what's happened in the private sector with these bailout funds. Government was able to get in there and control some of those businesses then that had accepted those stimulus bailout dollars. What's to say same thing won't happen with a state? If a state has not made wise decision, gotten itself in a heck of a lot of debt, and then they be enticed by federal dollars to come in and bail them out, who's to say that the same principle wouldn't apply to there then? That government would be able to get in there and control some of the decisions that a state government is making. That's not a safe place to be. Local control is the best form of government. The most responsive, responsible level of government is local government, not big centralized federal government.
Let's move on to some other issues that are out there, including the president's speech in Cairo to the Muslim world. What do you think of it?
Well, I would certainly like our president to stand very, very strong and bold in his statements about our protection of Israel that so many of us believe in, and our strongest ally in the Middle East being Israel deserve our protections, and I would have liked to seen a little bit more passion in that arena.
Are you suggesting he's not pro-Israel enough? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm sure he is pro-Israel. I would have liked to see more passion in the talk that he gave regarding our friends in Israel, our strongest ally, making sure that they know that we are here for them. We're going to stand by their side. We're going to help them. You
recently criticized him for showing weakness by having some Pentagon cuts in terms of missile defense that clearly affects Alaska. Is the country safer now that Barack Obama is president of the United States?
I think it's a sign of weakness to cut defense spending right now, especially when particular projects and services like missile defense systems. There in Alaska, we're strategically located where we could intercept a missile coming from North Korea. You see what Kim Jong-il is up to right now, having launched the 6 small missiles, and now deciding by about June 16th, he's saying, to launch a large missile. Alaska has the position and the equipment, if it's funded correctly, to intercept a missile, and to see then that there is talk of cutting that system. I think it's nonsense. I think it's a sign of weakness. We need to be showing signs of strength with our national defense, especially when you consider, Wolf, our young men and women abroad fighting for us and our safety, our security. We need to do all that we can with our military to show that we are strong on offense, not just defense.
In recent days, there's been a huge brouhaha over David Letterman's jokes involving your family and your daughter. He says he made a mistake. He says, yeah, it was probably in bad taste. He shouldn't have done it. Are you willing to forgive and forget?
I will always forgive whomever is asking for forgiveness. It goes beyond, though, David Letterman's crude, sexist, perverted joke about a 14-year-old girl being, quote-unquote, knocked up by Alex Rodriguez. I think he's like 30-some years old. I think that that's pretty perverted, but it goes beyond that. Not just that joke, but this insinuation that it's okay, it's acceptable to talk like that, and then that it's acceptable for the media to not provide the American public, the listeners, the readers, the full context of that joke. Letterman says now, hey, I wasn't talking about her 14-year-old. David, my 14-year-old was there with me at the game. She was the only one there with me. It wasn't my older daughter who's in college and taking care of her young family. It was my 14-year-old. So for the American public to not be given the full context of what that joke was all about, I think that's quite unfortunate. And also, it is that sad commentary on what Americans are fed in terms of full news.
Because he says he was talking about your 18-year-old daughter, not the 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah, the weak, convenient excuse. No, and you know what? Regardless of which daughter it was, inappropriate. I think it contributes to some low self-esteem of many of the young girls in the country. Very unfortunate. I'm so glad to see women's standing up and saying enough is enough. Talk about a 14-year-old being statutory rape is what this is, because a 14-year-old would not consent to being knocked up, quote unquote, by gentlemen in the A-Rod. I think degrading. I think it contributes to so many problems. It's unacceptable, and I'm very, very glad to hear you say that even David Letterman has recognized that it was inappropriate.
Yeah, all right, let's move on. Talk a little bit about politics, a subject close to your heart. 2012. Before there's 2012, there's 2010. Are you definitely going to seek re-election?
I'm not definitely going to do anything yet. What I'm trying to get done for Alaska right now is to get that Alaska gas line built. We need those energy sources flowing through North America. That's what my focus is. That and raising my family, doing those good things that we need done up there in Alaska, that's my focus.
So no decision yet on either 2010 or let alone 2012, is that right?
No decision that I'd want to announce today.
All right, well, you'll let us know when you're ready to make that announcement, is that right?
I'll let you know.
Hey, Governor, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.